Welcome back to Hot Rod Guy Garage, and this can be an episode on the 300 600 teardown. Follow with me through the intro, and I'll be back. So guys, this video is going to take place throughout this coming week. It's still Saturday where I finished up the last video, but we're going to start tearing down this 300, get the head ready to go to the machine shop, and, just kind of get it stripped the rest of the way down so I can get to cleaning everything and getting everything ready to go back together. So follow along with me. We'll see what we get into, and we'll get this thing tore down because I've got some other stuff I got to do to the motor too. And, even though I've kind of got an idea what it looks like on the SO, we really don't know. So let's get this thing pulled apart. Well, so far, other than a little oil dirt buildup, nothing major I see. Noticed the valve spring retainers were different. Dug through my big block Ford parts. It looks like a set of 460 valve spring retainers match the intake side. So probably get rid of the rotators and put those on there. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to show you the short block, show you the head, and that's going to be it for today. It's getting late at this point, and I still got to edit the other video. So make sure if you're watching this, hit that like button, guys. I like hearing your comments below, so comment too. So let me flip it around. So guys, everything other than some carbon and stuff looks pretty good. This thing's got such a mountain of addition on them though. No wonder they don't have no compression. Starting to get a little surface rust build up in here. That's from it sitting. But, everything looks pretty okay. There's absolutely no ridge up here at the top. So, don't really seem to have any kind of wear that's discernible in the cylinders. And, the motor for the most part looks like it was burning pretty clean. Other than a little carbon buildup. And, just a little oil buildup on everything on the head. So, same obviously in here in the lifter area. It looks pretty okay. So I guess tomorrow I'll pull this balancer off and get the time cover off and that oil filter, and we'll get that pan ripped off there, and a couple of these broke off sensors that need to go, and we'll go from there. So see you tomorrow, guys. Well, it's the next day. It's Sunday at this point. Got all the lifters out of the motor and got flipped upside down. What little antifreeze was in it come on out. So I gotta get this pan off here. I gotta get this balancer off. I don't have nothing here at the house that will actually break the crank bolt loose. So you get that out, get the oil pan off. Then we start pulling rods, pistons, and crankshaft. Hopefully all that stuff looks okay. So let's get started. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I still didn't get the bouncer off, but you know, I did pull some caps. And we got a lot of copper showing. Bearings look kind of ugly. I pulled all the main caps except for the center one. They all look just like that one. Crankshaft looks okay. It's smooth. I pulled a few rod caps. Amazingly, they look just like the main caps, showing tons of copper. You know, the motor probably ran great and probably didn't show no signs of this, but it's definitely time for a freshen up. So I still gotta get that balancer off. You get the crankshaft out and the rest of the rod caps and all off. I just pulled a few because I couldn't wait just to see kind of what was going on. Good thing I ordered those bearings and you know, rings, because it looks like we're gonna need them. The only thing I didn't order was an oil pump. You know, I considered, you know, putting one in it. I guess I'm going to at this point. But luckily the bores look okay. I'll know more when I get the block cleaned up and honed. I'll know more when I get the crank cleaned up and, you know, degreased and all that good stuff. But so far it's nothing scary or really unanticipated. Usually Ford motor, especially small blocks and big block stuff, when I get over 100,000 miles, that's kind of normal stuff you see. Most of the time you can put a set of bearings in it and it'd be good for a good long time. If there's any scratches you can catch with your fingernail on anything, that's the time to have a crankshaft turn. Same with your bore and stuff. You seen gouges or, you know, a lip at the top, you need to have your block bored. So nothing mega scary so far, but you know, not best case scenario either, but I do have the parts sitting here. So get back to it and I'll be back later. Well guys, it's Monday and it's raining outside like it always does apparently here in Tennessee. So got a little bit done today in between stuff at the shop. Started working on getting an oil pan baffle, putting this oil pan. I got one roughed in. Got the valve cover, that oil cap spout, you know, got it cut down. The little side cover had a dent from where the motor fell over on the trailer bringing it to the house. It actually punched a hole in it. I got that welded up and straightened back out. So I guess I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm dealing with and where we're at so far. Like I said, this is going to be throughout the week. It's going to be little short kind of clips of just kind of a glimpse inside what's going on. This is going to be, you know, after hours for me from the shop. You know, so let's see. I'll show you what I got. So ignore kind of the ugly weld here, but it is good and penetrated done like that 65 Mustang I done that video on. Inside the oil pan, nobody's ever going to see it, you know, that kind of stuff. But I built a baffle. This is the rear of the pan here. That baffle is on like a 45, got a top lip. That's going to keep that oil when you launch the car from, you know, going all the way back here in the back of the pan because of the way something's made. Also put one up here in the front that I'm going to have to trim a little bit for pickup tube. I got a little overzealous there. I'll have to trim that out. And I'm going to make another little baffle that sits down inside here. This is like a C shape behind the pickup tube on the front and the rear. Just to keep that oil centered around that old pickup tube. But the side cover, it had a hole punched through it there, as you can see. I welded that up, kind of worked that edge down. And oil cap now screws straight into the valve cover. Good flat here. And apparently I put it in there too tight. But I got this valve cover all dollied back out. Here, got this spot welded here. Was going to body work it a little bit, but I think it'll be fine just like it is with a little paint, because you can't really see it. But big thing is, the top of it here is not caved in anymore, and our oil cap is screwed straight to the valve cover and gives us that clearance that we need for the hood. So, not a whole lot. Still haven't got that balancer off. Forgot my impact as usual. But I think I'm going to go ahead and knock the rods and pistons out of it tonight. I got to take this pickup tube back off there. I just stuck it on there to, mock up my baffles and my pan. And I got the push rods and rocker arms preliminarily cleaned up. They do need a little more cleaning, but they're a lot better than what they were, guys. Gotta remember, this stuff looked like this stuff. So, I mean, I spent maybe an hour on this stuff today, just on and off in between things. So, you know, I could have made that baffle pretty, but nobody's ever gonna see it. Only y'all. So, from the outside, you won't ever see it once there's paint on it. And, the valve cover, I could have bought a pretty nice valve cover, but it's not in the budget. I would sure like to have one of them Australian ones with the fins and stuff, but $500 and the side cover's like $400, and then you up with almost $1,000 and a valve cover and a side cover. Even though they would look awesome and fit the car pretty well, just not in the cards. So I'm gonna get these rods and pistons knocked out here. That way I can take them and the oil pan tomorrow, finish up my baffle, get the rods and pistons cleaned up, and then hopefully I won't forget my impact again. And I can get this bouncer off here, get the crank out of it, and Wednesday I should be able to get the crank cleaned up, and the timing cover and the balancer and all that stuff. And hopefully by this weekend, guys, we'll be ready to start putting the short block back together. A few more parts have come in. My shift kit for transmission came in. My turbo merge flange come in. Oil line kit for the turbo, all that stuff. So it's moving along. Slow progress. Like I said, I don't want this thing to stay apart a long time, because I do have other plans for the car. And I told y'all it's not going to be red long, and it's not going to be red by the time the No Name Nationals come, or at least I hope not. So I'm gonna get this pickup tube off here, which is what I'm doing while the camera's shaking. I'm screwing the bolts out of it, multitasking. And I'm gonna get that pickup tube put back in its box, get this oil pump off here and rest these rod caps, and knock these pistons out, and I'll be back. Well, get all the rods and pistons out of it, got all the main caps off of it. I just gotta get this darn balancer off. So, amazingly, the journals look okay. There's nothing I can catch with a fingernail on any of these. So, I think crank may be okay. I'll know more once I get it all cleaned up, but I guess some oil pan modifications do. Like I said, I gotta get all this stuff cleaned up so I can reuse it. Yeah, at this point, I probably should just build the motor. Have it bored, buy some good rods, and, find an industrial steel crank, right? That's not what we're going to do. We're going to throw some bearings in it. We're going to throw some rings in it that are going to be gapped. And, we're going to ride with it. Because, who knows? There's not really been no kind of max effort stock bottom end 300s I've seen. I've seen the Green Maverick and Carcraft that was 25 pounds of boost on the stock bottom end motor. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'm going to continue through the week, and I'll drop back in when there's stuff to update or what have you, and just get on with this project, I guess. A little at a time, just chip away at it. No matter how much I fast forward this project stuff, it's never going to be super fast to get done because I got a lot of stuff to do, and I do a lot of stuff at the shop, and I'm one person, so yeah. Sometimes I question my life choices, so I don't know, guys. Be back. Alright, guys, it's Tuesday. I got my oil pan baffle straightened out. I got my rods and pistons cleaned up. And I finally got that crank bowled out after, a bunch of hassling, fighting with it. Ended up burning the rubber out of the balancer. I had to heat it for so long. And I know this video is kind of widened out, but it's because the lights in the garage and it's kind of dark outside. So, yeah. So, the budget 306 cylinder is beginning to not be budget anymore, which it never really was, I don't guess, guys. I mean, got $3,000 in this setup so far, and go ahead and spend some more. So let me flip it around and show you what I got going on. Show you camshaft and everything come out of it. And at this point, I'm ready to get the block cleaned up. And like I said, I gotta get that cam gear pressed off that camshaft and get the retainer plate out. I gotta take this crank to the shop, get it cleaned up, get the gear pressed off it, and get this block cleaned up. So the block cleaned up pretty good. I ran a hone through it for a few seconds. It actually looks pretty decent. Even that little kind of rusty spot that was in this back cylinder where it got some water in it, it pretty much all just pretty much honed out. And I've not wiped all the dirt and stuff out where I honed it, but it looks pretty good. And our poor little balancer, if you didn't see the short, it got it's still hot, guys. It's been about 45 minutes since I took this thing off here, and I had to get that thing nuclear hot to get that bolt out of the center. But like I said yesterday, got our push rods and rocker arm stuff cleaned up. We got our rods and pistons cleaned up. You know, the rods actually look pretty new. And the main caps are down in there, and the bolts and stuff too. So that's all clean, ready to go in. Just take a little brake clean, spray it off, and that's ready to go back. So gotta get all that funk out of there. Got our crankshaft out, and even though the surfaces have a color to them, guys, it looks pretty good. It's just dirty, and I gotta get this off there. So crank bolt's still hot too, and it's sitting down there. Got the time cover off. I gotta, I guess, press this cam gear off this camshaft, which this is kind of the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's no camshaft retaining bolt in these, I guess, and the cam gear's pressed on and the retainer's behind it. So that'll make it interesting. Probably not going to be a big deal to put it back together, but take it apart's going to be fun. So I guess let's see where we get tomorrow night. Like I said, I'm doing something different here, guys. I'm bringing you along for the kind of the behind the scenes ride here. I get home from the shop, I mess with it for 30-45 minutes, and then I go upstairs, eat dinner, or lunch, depending on what day it is, and I'm done. So a lot of work to do, and this is the only way I know how to knock it out. And a lot of you at home working on your own stuff probably doing the same way. So until tomorrow, guys, see you then. And all right, guys, it's Wednesday. I got the timing cover cleaned up. I'm not gonna flip the camera around for that. I'm just gonna, I blasted it, get it cleaned up. Acid washed it after I blasted it. Make sure anything was gonna come off was gonna come off. Because we know how frowned upon it is to blast internal engine components. So got that, got the cam gear pressed off the camshaft so I could liberate the little Woodruff key for the new one, and our cam retainer plate, which I also cleaned up. And down here on the floor, down here, I have a POR 15's rust remover. You never use any of this stuff, guys. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Had to buy that stuff. Got all the bolts soaking in it and let it soak overnight, along with the replacement water pump pulley I got that was rusty, and the exhaust flanges. I'm gonna have to reuse. My merge did come in from my turbo side. When it does come time for that, I got my little merge here, so I can merge them split manifolds, into one pipe for the flange. So I guess at this point, I still got the crankshaft cleanup. It's at the shop, and the block cleanup. Looks like we're going to be pretty much on par to start putting this thing back together this weekend. So I'll update tomorrow. We'll see where we're at. See you tomorrow. And it's Thursday, and if you've not took the time to hit that like button on this video and hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you did. Didn't get a lot done today. I was super busy at the shop. I have been all week. Um, I did get the crankshaft cleaned up as good as I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to, you can see it over there. It's attached to my engine stand because that thing's heavy and it fall over super easy. But I did go in here and I got this block honed. I don't know if I updated that last night, but I got the block honed. I actually put a Geo Metro oil dipstick on it, since I have like 100 of them things floating around the garage, and cut down the tube and drilled the block and pressed that in there. So it's not going anywhere. So I'll flip that around and show it to you. So get that attached, and in there, I just roughly measured the depth. I'll probably have to mark it. Once I get the oil in the pan, I'll just pull the stick out, mark it where full is, and we'll go from there. Like I said, got the block honed out. It looks pretty good. It's starting to just get just a hair of a wear ridge up here at the top. So our bolts have been sitting in here since yesterday at the same time. You can see our flanges, they're de-rusting rather well. Our pulley down there, it's also been pretty good. I turned it earlier and got it moved around, and our bolts down there look like new. So I'm gonna let this sit another day up under there. So hopefully I can get out of the shop early enough tomorrow, which I probably doubt. Got 2 cars getting dropped off in the morning. I still got one I'm working on, and the Tire Fire Mustang from the other videos. So if you haven't checked that video out, make sure you check it out. That thing is horribly bad. So wish me luck, guys. Let's hope tomorrow I can get that cleaned up, and Saturday we'll put this bottom end together. So I want to go ahead and get the short block assembled, because next week we're going to work on the C6, and we're going to build it throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. But I really want to get the short block together. I gave him 2 weeks on cylinder head to get it ported and the valve job stuff done to it. So we should be, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should be able to get this motor back in the car. And then we start the fun stuff, like making turbo stuff and all that cool things. So see you tomorrow, guys. Well, welcome back, guys. It is finally Friday, and I did manage to actually get the block over here cleaned up pretty decently. So we should be able to get, this motor put together this weekend. So look for a video tomorrow night on the assembly of this Ford 300 short block. And, I'll flip the camera around here in a second. I'll show you what everything looks like. But literally everything's clean. A few more boxes came in from Rock Auto, so I added them to my budget. It should be an oil pump and a balancer, and the stuff that I need to finish putting this motor together. So our budget's actually $32.98 right now, and there's still a bunch more to buy, guys. And with a $3,500 budget, we are super close. So I'm gonna flip it around. I'll show you the block. So, well, it might not look a lot different. I went in here and wire brushed the crap out of this rust and degreased the crap out of it a billion times and scrubbed on it. And, you see some rust streaks in our cylinders, but I got all this stuff wiped down with some penetrating oil. Everything sprayed out. Our lifter valley, while it does not look beautiful, it is reasonably clean, and will be clean enough for what we're doing. So got that cleaned up to a level where I'm happy with it. So just gotta get the bottom end put together. Go have to gap our rings and all that good stuff. And maybe we can get to a point tomorrow we can spray some color on this thing. So, get all this stuff ready to go. I need to open them boxes. So it looks like I'm still waiting on my oil pump shaft that I ordered, but I got my valve seals, my balancer, and this new 4G style alternator. I reckon that's what all the cool Ford kids are running nowadays. So I guess I'm gonna say goodbye to my one wire setup and go to that. And the Rock Auto stuff got a really cool big body Mustang magnet, which is kind of fitting because they share the same chassis as the 7071 Torino, pretty much. So pretty cool. So guys, that's basically how my week goes on a weekly basis. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off at the shop. I come home, I do what I have to do, a little at a time. When you get a big project, guys, you gotta kind of chip away at it every day. And when you chip away at it every day, before you know it, you're making some kind of progress. So stay tuned for that video. It's going to come out tomorrow afternoon. We're going to get the short block together. And if you haven't yet, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button because most of my viewers are not subscribers, and it is 100% free. So I guess, guys, until I get this other video tomorrow, we start putting this short block together. Guess that's it until then. So I'll see you at the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.